Hello and welcome to EnergyTV. I am Choi, conscious business coach. So happy to have our awesome, amazing guest here. Pamela Jay is a leadership mentor, award-winning author, and a voice empowerment confidence coach for conscious entrepreneurs who know that they were born to lead. So Pamela guides visionary entrepreneurs from around the world in unlocking the magnetic presence and power of their natural voice to speak with unshakable confidence, write with clarity, and attract the right clients with ease. It is my pleasure to have Pamela Jay here with us today. So feel free to ask questions if you're watching this later or live as well, and we can have her answer that. But let's just go ahead and start. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. It is a joy to be here. Thank you.
Yay. Excellent.
Yay.
Very cool. So why don't you just share with us, you have a very interesting backstory, and I would love to hear what got you started and really helping, for today's topic of find your voice. What was the inspiration for that? How did that get started?
Well, at 36 years old, which was quite some time ago, I had lost my own voice and was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And I was scheduled to have my intestines partially removed, but refused the surgery, wandered off into my grain silo. I was a farmer's wife with two little boys. And I started to sing, and the sound of my voice coming off the stone felt like warm butter pouring over my body, and basically had a spontaneous healing. But I have been on a journey for 30 some years trying to understand how that was possible. And I realized that in my moment of my darkest hour there, that I fell into this way of understanding how to reverse the energies in my body. And instead of fighting my illness, I was loving it. Wow. And 12 weeks later, I did not need the surgery, and I've never looked back.
Okay, this is wild. So you're saying you had an instant recovery?
Well, yes, I believe in that moment I had that awareness, and that awareness shifted everything. Instead of this whole thing of something's got to get out of me, it was like, whoa, this is beautiful. It was such a beautiful experience. I kept returning to it every day. I also began immersing myself in nature, burying myself in the sand back at the river, sitting by the river. So I was meditating, I was earthing, all things I'd never heard of in my life, and singing each day in that silo, which was helping me find my voice again.
Like an actual silo building.
Yeah, stone silo with the roof was gone, right? So the echo, the resonance in that was like phenomenal. And it brought me in touch with the resonant chamber within what I call my heart voice.
Oh my gosh.
And, oh my gosh, of course I'm sick. I lost my voice, right? Wow. I lost my own voice.
So in the silo, were you a singer before, or you in that moment became one, or what prompted that?
Question. I put away a career in singing and theater when I was in college to go home and take care of my mother who was ill, and then my parents divorced. And so I had not sung in 30 years. I shut my gift down in that moment. And so of course singing would help that. But it wasn't that and after that, I actually became an award-winning children's singer-songwriter. I started channeling music and writing and composing, and I'd never done that before.
Oh my goodness. Children's music too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I opened a learning center on a historic farm across the river from where we lived. And I was helping people reconnect with their gifts and their voices and nature. I did that for 12 years, and just a very organic process. And I loved it, but I still was struggling because I couldn't really talk about the energy. I couldn't talk about all these things that I understood at this deep level around masculine and feminine energies. I mean, I was in a conservative Indiana farm community, right?
Right.
And they were already thinking I was a witch because I was taking children nature hiking in the woods, if you can imagine, back in the late 1990s.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So always this struggle of where do I fit this gift into the world and who can I help? After I closed the Learning Center, I discovered that I could work with hospice patients and I could help them transition as they were dying with greater ease. And it was beautiful. It was lovely, and I was helping the families as well. But then came the day when I said, if I can help people die with greater ease, I surely could help them live with greater ease. And if I could help them find their voices, their lost voices, like I had found, I would feel so used, right? I look at the voice as an instrument. My prayer every day is use me as an instrument of peace to the highest good of all life in the spirit of all creation. I would say that over and over and over, and yet nowhere could I find where I fit. So, flash forward to just 6 years ago when I turned 60 years old, and I said, that's it. I am going to go find how I can share this and who I'm to share it with. And I sold my belongings, packed up my Jeep Wrangler, moved to the mountains of North Carolina where I knew no one, built and lived in a rustic tree house, and I ended up staying 2.5 years while I re-immersed myself in the natural world and learned from Mother Nature this whole dance of the masculine and feminine energies and our expression. I'm back now, and I started my business, and I love coaching those who are riding that cutting edge, exactly the kind of people that you have sitting here in this group, right? Conscious entrepreneurs, the ones who can dare to lead and know that they are here to really make a difference in a fundamental way. And teaching them how to find that spot. And you know that spot because you just did a TED Talk, right? And you know that spot when you land in fully and can resonate from that heart voice, anchored fully in your body, right? Right. So,
Whoa.
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, there's so many things I want to touch on. So you were like Walden going into the pond or whatever for 2.5 years, like taking a full sabbatical, fully immersing yourself. Did
Yeah.
you know when you were there what would emerge, or that's what you were there to find out? How can I be a gift in this world, be used up, yet have it be received and have your people?
Well, it was real interesting because in that moment in this silo, everything just sort of downloaded all at once. And it's taken me all this time to figure kind of all the bits and pieces. So it was just this touchback to that point. And I went, oh gosh, it was all there all along, but I kept getting caught in the worldly ways of, oh, you have to deliver it this way, or this won't fit there. And I kept sort of, oh gosh, I kept playing small. And I coming fully forth with who I am. And when we do that, this is when we find our voices. This is where we find them. When we step into that authenticity, we don't try to be someone that we're not. And all of those sorts of things.
So what did you discover in that moment of the treehouse for 2.5 years? Was it just it's more of an unfolding of what you already knew, and then how to really not package it, but express that?
It was one giant affirmation of what I had been shown in that moment. And this whole thing of get on with it. I mean, hello, this is what you're here to deliver. So, yeah. And then I began asking,
there wasn't like one big awakening. It was just kind of a general confirmation of affirming what you knew. By the time you came out from before or after, like what had switched? Was it like, I have an answer now of how to express this? Or was it clarity on how to break it down? Or what was that?
Well, okay. I started listening to a Carolina Wren every morning, and it told me how to create. Told me how to create a soul voice activation system and bring everything that I had learned into energetic experiences that I share with my clients. I work with people all over the world now, thanks to technology, right? And I can help them have these rememberings, this energetic exchange where we step into time together through the magic of Zoom, create a silo, we come into it together, and we have this energetic exchange. And in that, they have these rememberings of a time in their life when they were more relaxed, when they were more in their heart and less in their head, right? When they were more connected with what I call their inner nature. So I'm the space holder in that. And it is so lovely because I feel like a conductress, and, I'm music. So I always wanted to conduct. It's like, oh, this is what's happening in that. And they learn to conduct their energies in this different way, bringing the feminine energies to the foreground, the nurturance, the non-judgmental, the observer,
Mm,
right?
yes.
And let those inspire the actions that we take. We've had it backwards.
Oh my gosh, you're so articulating. So it's, for me, I call it the yin energy, the feminine, right? With the masculine and the yang, and you just hit on the head what sales could be in business, right? So
Yes,
allowing, listening to spirit, inner wisdom, then taking the action, right? Versus
absolutely.
pushing the action till we're like so tired and beat up and whatever. And then we have to recuperate. So you're right
Exactly.
on, like it's
Well,
flipped.
that's what my illness taught me, right? Don't push it, allow it. And the body knew what to do to heal, right?
Beautiful.
So
Oh,
I
I
had,
love it.
yeah,
Would have been so okay. So then you moved back and then you started your business,
I
right?
did.
And
Mhm.
then how many years has it been now?
It's going on 2 years.
2 years. Okay,
And
great. So it's pretty fresh. Very
yeah.
cool. What are you currently now? What's your biggest challenge as you've grown your community and helped so many people?
A lot of it's managing the back end of the business, right? Because it's blossoming so quickly, and finding that perfect balance between how many clients I'd like and allowing myself time to write my books, which is what I'm really like, oh yeah,
Lit
all
up
over
by
that,
that.
and really excited to do that. So finding again that creative flow of running that part, and the business, and attracting the clients and serving them, and also having time to write my books, which are being kind of written through me, when I get out of the way.
Nice. So what
Yeah.
would be your from your authority, or not authority, but your that's the wrong word, from what you really support and were meant to be on earth for. A lot of people struggle with that same challenge you probably just said, right? Like how do you balance between
Hmm.
attracting the clients, having revenue, plus just what's fun and your passion project, or maybe sometimes they merge, sometimes they don't. If you were talking to you, what would you say to yourself?
Well,
Knowing what
one of
you
my
know now.
one of my greatest lessons has been to remember to put myself first and do what pleases me, right? And this is when you're a visionary, when you are on that cutting edge, you can't be worried about what other people think at
Yeah.
all. And then you stand in this place and learn to balance it. And I I have my whole motto for this year is, if it ain't fun, I ain't signing up. So it's like the fun keeps the creativity alive, and every bit of it can be fun. There's some things that maybe aren't our wheelhouse, and then we can find ways to find someone who can help with those pieces and that sort of thing. But
Totally.
when I stay in that flow, it's the same flow, and I recognize it. I feel it in my body. We've all had these moments where you feel so present that everything's flowing with ease. And so that flow, when that's there, you recognize it. When you get slightly off kilter, if you're really in tune with your body, as I was when I was healing from my illness, it knows how to auto correct if you don't push it. And at that moment, step back, take a breath, which tells your brain you're safe, come fully into your body, land in here in their heart space. And when you speak, then you're actually releasing hormones like serotonin and dopamine and endorphins. Any good speaker knows this, any good storyteller knows this. And it's a whole different exchange. So you don't have to sell your program, you just share what you do, and people are either interested and resonate, or they don't.
Yes, you attract, right?
That's right.
So what if you were to say in a phrase what you serve people, conscious entrepreneurs, with in finding their voice, that's the outcome, and then just share a little bit on how you do that. Is it through helping them create a signature talk, or write their website, or anything, or say more about how you would help a conscious entrepreneur?
Okay, the thing I do the most is help them tap into this deep inner wisdom that is already within them, and connect with that, right?
Okay,
And
so more of an energy session feel.
absolutely
Okay.
that. And I do help people with writing and all that too. But I'm really most interested in helping them be able to observe their own process, and they're learning this beautiful process they can use over and over and over again,
Mm,
recognizing when they're aligned with their own natural voice and when they're not. And
mm.
magic, magic, magic happens in that.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. How can people engage with you? What's the next step that they could take if you're someone, right, that wants to really find your voice? And it
Mhm.
really is an inner game first before you try to tackle the copy and the website, right? You got to be
Yes.
confident and aligned with your higher self. And so Pamela can help you do that. What's the best way that they can get in touch with you? Or
Well, first, I'd like to say that I work with people at all different areas of this. Some who are like, I don't even know where my voice is, right? Some that are
it's
totally
just
blind.
recovering more. Mm-hmm.
So they're coming from that all the way up to my most recent. I've helped people be very successful in doing TED Talks when they thought that, oh, that's going to be too big and too scary. So it doesn't matter where you are in that. And you can get a hold of me through the link that I am going to give you, and people can contact me. I am offering 20-minute complimentary soul voice readings where I will go in and energetically, I can hear where there's resistance. That's what I did in my own body, but I now can do that and help you and recognize where you're maybe holding resistance. And messages come through in that. New things happen that you maybe haven't thought of before. So I basically channel that. And I would love to meet with anyone who's interested, male or female, who would just like to experience one. And you're going to walk away with something that you probably didn't know, or something that's been affirmed that you're ready to act on that you've maybe been putting off.
Lovely. Sounds delicious. I'm excited to explore that. Okay, cool. So we'll be sure to put the link below this episode in the description. So definitely check that out for that initial 20-minute consult. And then as well as your website and other ways that you can be in touch. Thank you,
That's
Pamela, so, so much for your heart and your presence. It's delicious and wonderful. I keep saying delicious. I must be hungry.
you must be.
And yeah, we look forward to connecting with you more and being part of this community as well. So thank
Thank
you.
you so much. It's a joy to be with all of you. Bye.
Okay, great.